Hey everybody, so my name is Michelle for anybody who doesn't actually know me, and I'm making this video because I'm finally sucking up my pride and I've made a GoFundMe account because due to the series of unfortunate events in my life, I am struggling very terribly financially. For people that do know me, know that I've been going through quite a bit, and I guess you could say the past probably like year, but I thought I'd make a video because it's probably like a lot quicker and would make kind of more sense, but I'm kind of scatterbrained. But so if you want to know why I made the GoFundMe and understand it a little better, I wrote down kind of like the key topics to like describe it better. So, in August, I ended up going to an inpatient facility in Texas. I'm stationed overseas right now in the military, and so I went inpatient in August. It was supposed to be a 28-day stay, and it turned into 9.5 weeks. On July 19th, I tried to take my own life due to being raped, and this wasn't the first time, and I had told my therapist before, due to my son Sterling being conceived out of force, and I had told my therapist before and it never got reported. And so July 19th it finally got reported, and so they suggested that I was kind of voluntold to go inpatient. So I was back in my house with my 3 children about a week later. Before this, in about January of 2019, I had asked for my spouse to be returned to the States, and I was told that there had to be more reason, like more evidence, kind of, for him to be returned to the States. My just own safety wasn't enough for them because I hadn't reported things going on, so it wasn't enough. In April, he ended up beating me, and in April there was a no contact order, and me and the kids were placed in an on-base hotel, and came back to the house a couple days later, and there was still not enough evidence for him to be ERD'd. In July, when I told the therapist what happened, there was still not enough evidence for him to be ERD'd. In August, me and the kids were back in the house, and I told him once again that I wanted a divorce, and I was at work, and he told me that he was leaving the country right then, and I needed to come pick my daughter up because she's not biologically his. That is the only dad she knows, or at the time that is the only dad that she did know. And he was taking our sons, and he was leaving the country right then. I let my shirt know. She told me to immediately go home, so I let my supervisor know. I left home. They had the on-base police and the off-base police heading to our house. I made it before the police did, and I got shoved into my car. I ended up having bruised ribs, nothing serious. The kids witnessed it. The kids yelled at him to stop hurting mommy. They didn't get hurt. They were fine. We had to go stay. Well, at first, he had to be forced to stay on base and pay out of pocket, and we had to stay in the house. And the kids made a report with the police, And they told them what they witnessed. And then I went to work the next day. The kids stayed in with safe people that I knew, and they were on base, so they were safe. And I was told by on-base agencies to not let him around the kids, so that is what I did. And he was threatening these individuals and threatening various individuals. He was hacking into my accounts and threatening various people, pretending to be me. People knew that it was not me just because of like how it was coming across and like what he was saying. They just knew it wasn't me. So we ended up having to house hop because we were pretty much homeless at the time. And this was around 4 August, and the 14th of August, because we had USAA, we had a joint account. Early payday came, and at 10 a.m. he was at the on-base ATM, and he went and took out all of my check. So I had no money, and me and my kids were trying to find places to stay. And we thankfully had very great people in my squadron letting me stay with them and helping me watch the kids when like they could, and just helping overall. And so we ended up, me and my spouse both had to go inpatient, him for his own reasons and me for PTSD and sexual trauma. And so he was there about a week and a half, and then left against medical advice, went and got the kids, who was with his dad, who I placed a power of attorney with because his dad is amazing. The kids love him. They were in very great hands. And so he went and got the kids because they are his kids. He can do that. Then he decided about a week later that he needed to be back inpatient, which everyone agreed with. But when he did that, it was about 11 at night, and he dropped Lily off with her biological father, who she did not really know, and she had met once before in her life. And so I found this out, and the county police, child services, and city police where they were at had to get involved. And when this happened, because I was still inpatient, and if I would have signed out against medical advice, I would have had to front it would have been $40,000 bill instead of TRICARE paying for that. So what the courts did was took custody of all 3 kids away from me, and they gave temporary legal custody to my father-in-law and his wife. And that was September 9th. And I'm making this video on December 21st. So Roy came back to the same inpatient facility. Before he arrived back, he had called me on the phone. We got our phone 3 hours a night from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. And while staff was around me, he was threatening my life. And that had not been the first time, but that was the first time that staff heard it. So staff had to let the higher-ups of the facility know. So I had to be on lockdown and was not allowed to leave that part of the facility. And so I was stuck in the facility for a lot longer, but it was needed because a lot of traumatic things were still going on. So October 16th, I was told I was coming back to England without my kids. So I came back, and when I came back, I had found out in September that I got code 37. So in the military, that means that you can no longer do your job in the military anymore for medical reasons. So I found out it was actually last Friday, my commander sent his impact statement. So I am getting a full med board. So I will be getting out for medical reasons because I can no longer do my job in the military. It is very unfortunate, but everything happens for a reason. But my custody court date was supposed to be in January, and my judge got COVID, and the court case has now been moved to February 9th. As of right now, I'm still supposed to be in England after that court case, and I've had to get attorneys, and I've had to take out loans already, and I've used Air Force aid to try to pay for these things, and I'm just struggling to pay for all of these things, and now I'm going to have to buy myself a ticket to get to Alabama, and then after this, I'm going to have to buy a ticket back and buy tickets for all 3 of my children to get back to England until I get to a transition unit in the States to finish out my med board process before I'm out of the military, or I PCS back on the orders getting out of the military. So with everything going on, I won't be in the military much longer, so I'm trying to save as much money as I can, but I mean, I'm paying the legal fees, and now I have to buy plane tickets for 4 people. So I had to suck up my pride, and I made a GoFundMe, and my family's trying to help as much as they can, and I have really supportive friends now that I made in my inpatient facility that I know they're gonna be lifelong friends now, and I just had to make this, and I thought making a video would be a lot easier to explain to you guys. And honestly, if it's understand donating money to a stranger is really hard, but I just want to ask for advice, tips, anything really to just kind of help me get me through this. Just man, life is freaking rough right now, and I know 2020 sucks for everyone. So I feel it, man. I feel it, and I'm trying hard, and I'm trying to look on the bright side, and things are looking up. I can't wait to see my kids again. It's been what is it, 120 something days since I've got to hug my kids since August 20th, and it's getting so much closer till I can hug my kids again, but it's really expensive, and I just thought I'd ask, and I'd appreciate any advice, tips, anything. So if you watch this, thank you, and yeah guys, thank you so much. All right, bye.